In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you what you need to do if you run into a bear. If you find this video helpful, make sure you like it. Also, subscribe to the channel. And with that, let's get started.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
Now, when talking about what you're supposed to do when running into a bear, you have to take a step back and look at what do you do to prevent running into a bear, because most bear encounters actually are human induced. It's from what we do, whether it's on the trail or in the campsite, and so we have to look at the 5 steps that we need to follow in order to prevent running into a bear. And then we'll jump into the 6 steps that you need to follow if you do run into a bear. So, step number 1 is respect a bear's space. Most national and state parks will have it outlined that you should be around 200 feet away from a bear when observing them. If a bear changes its behavior because of your presence, that means you are too close. So then you'll have to do what you need to do in order to walk away from that and get to a safe place. Number 2 is try to stay in groups. Bears normally do not want to run into people. They just want to be left alone. They know who humans are. They know what we do, what we sound like, and what we smell like. So the more of you possible on the trail or in the campsite, the more that the bear will stay away. If you can, while you're on a trail, talk softly, maybe make music, whatever it is that you need to do in order to make sure a bear identifies you as a human. Usually it helps to be in groups when doing all those things. Number 3 is know your surroundings. You have to be aware of what's around you, because you yourself could walk up onto a bear without even knowing it. And so we actually have talked about this before in the Journey More community, is to not listen to music or to podcast in both ears, because it takes away your awareness. Maybe you don't see them, but you just walk along the trail and there's a dead animal or something like that, or bushes with berries that bears like to eat. That is considered a bear's territory. And if they're there, if they are around, which is more likely in those places, you could run into an encounter and have to get yourself out of that. So know your surroundings. Number 4 is keep your food properly stored. Now, we're not going to go super in depth on this because we're actually going to make a whole nother video over this, but you can search the web. There's tons of resources out there for food safe containers for bears while you're hiking, while you're backpacking. So you have to be very aware of where your food is, because bears can smell it from very far away and they will try to come and find it. And that's when you'll be in trouble. And then number 5, the last tip for preventing to run into bears, and this is definitely going to be one that's a little controversial, and we understand, but leave your dog at home. Dogs and bears do not mix. That usually heightens the chance that you'll run into a bear. And if you do run into a bear, it will heighten the chance of that becoming an attack. And a bear attack is completely different than running into a bear. So we'll also do a whole nother video of bear attacks and what you're supposed to do when those happen. But for right now, we're just going to stick to these easy steps of preventing. And now, what to do if you actually encounter one. So when encountering a bear, the first thing you have to do is stay calm. This is the most important thing of all these steps, because staying calm will help you to do everything else we're going to talk about here. Know that the bear does not want to attack you. In most cases, the bear just wants to be left alone. So if you stay calm, your chances for getting out of that situation are going to go way up. Number 2, if any small children are around, immediately pick them up. Small children don't really understand what's going on. They actually might like the sight of a bear and they might want to go closer. So you have to get them under control. Pick them up immediately. Don't just grab them, because they could start running, they could start screaming. They need your touch to make them calm. Again, if you stay calm, it'll help them be calm. Number 3 is identify yourself as a human. You're gonna have to stand your ground, speak softly, calmly, help them to know that you're a human, wave your arms just like this, something of the sort, but keep your eyes fixed on the bear. Don't let the bear out of your eyes. Keep facing him. Don't turn your back. Don't run away. If a bear is just being curious, it might come closer. It might stand up on its hind legs. It might sit. The only time you know it's an attack is if they're charging at you. If they charge, that's when you know you're about to be attacked. But if not, if they're moving slow, if they're being calm, then they are just being curious. Number 4 tip is if the bear is stationary, again, keep your eyes fixed on the bear, but slowly move away. Move sideways. That's usually not a threatening movement to a bear. Do not come towards it. You can backpedal, but again, slowly, waving your arms, identifying yourself as a human while you're doing this. Do not ever run away. Don't run away. That immediately triggers bears, and they will attack if you do that. Try to get to higher ground. If the bear is following you and coming after you, again, stand your ground. Stand your ground, make yourself look as big as possible. Sprawl out, make yourself look larger. Suck in, up, out, everything. Everything that you can do to make yourself look as big as possible is so important because it makes you more intimidating to the bear. Also, getting to higher ground, like I said earlier, it makes you look bigger to a bear. It's more intimidation there. Number 5 is do not allow the bear access to your food. You feeding the bear makes it worse. That does not make the bear go away. It does not satisfy the bear. You cannot carry enough food to satisfy that bear, so do not give it food. It will continue to follow you and come after you. Also, do not take your pack off. If your pack is on, just in case the bear were to attack, the pack can provide safety for your back. We'll talk a little bit more about that in our other video of what to do if you're being attacked. But for now, if you're encountering a bear, leave your pack on. Number 6 is always leave the bear an escape route. If you can exit the area, if you can get away, do that. But if you can't, you've got to let the bear leave. If you are blocking an opening, if you're standing next to bushes with berries, if you're standing next to a dead animal, try to get away from that and let the bear get to where it wants to go. If you do that, the bear will usually just walk to what it needs to, or it'll walk out, it'll get away from you. So leave it an escape route. Also, extra tip that you gotta keep in mind, mama bears are the most dangerous. So if you run into cubs, if you run into baby bears, you've got to be very careful and very cautious. You definitely want to get away from them, but you also want to make sure you check your surroundings, because usually if there's a cub, that means mama bear is not far behind. So make sure if you run into cubs that you got to do all these steps very, very carefully. Check those surroundings, pick up those kids, move away slowly, sideways, backwards. Make yourself as big as possible, stand your ground, but also try to get out of there. Because a mama bear, if she feels like her cubs are threatened, she will come after you. And you don't stand a chance against mama bear. So, make sure you get out of there. Again, 5 steps to preventing, 6 steps on what to do if you run into bears. We hope this video was helpful to you guys. We know with us going to the Smokies all the time, going out west, hiking in the mountains, there's a lot of different opportunities where you could run into a bear, so you've got to be prepared. Again, like the video if it was helpful, subscribe to the channel. We'd love for you to be a part of the Journey More community. Come journey more with us. We'll see you next time.